Hey everyone, welcome to another video, and in this video we are going to talk about TA, RA and GA. If you haven't heard about those terms, well, TA is Teaching Assistant, RA is Research Assistant and GA is Graduate Assistant. What do they do, you ask? Well, a teaching assistant helps teachers to grade the assignments, help them do doubt sessions, whereas a graduate assistant help with the functioning of a particular department. They could be working in your own department as a computer science or civil engineering, whereas they could also be working in the admissions department, whereas a research assistant help the professor curate papers, write more research papers, find more data, and then their name also comes along with the professor's name when they're publishing a paper. Now, as a RATA GA, you could be making anywhere between $1,000 to $3,000. As of now, there are 400 to 500 universities who offer master's degree to international students. When you talk about 400 to 500 universities, that's a lot of TA.RA.GA positions. I was under the impression that if you are a RATA.GA, you would be getting a full fee waiver, but that's not the case. I realized that quickly, and this is me giving you the answers how much money students would be making if they are one of those. To give you a quick example, in Texas A&M, there are some departments which offers full fee waiver, and there are some departments which will convert your out-of-state tuition fee or the international student tuition fee to in-state tuition. In universities which are in Texas, it's pretty common that your out-of-state tuition fee gets converted to in-state tuition fee, and that's how people qualify for scholarships. It's just one of the way how the universities pay you more than what they are paying you in general. If you do not understand the in-state and out-of-state tuition fee concept, let me explain it to you. In-state and out-of-state tuition fee. For example, if I'm a resident of the state of Michigan, then my kid will be qualified for an in-state tuition fee. Whereas anybody who's coming from California, New York, Dallas, Texas, wherever it is, they would be qualified out-of-state student, and they would be qualified for out-of-state tuition fee. Usually, this is a common practice. In-state tuition fee is half of what is out-of-state tuition fee. So let's say the tuition fee is $15,000 for out-of-state students. It's $7,500 for in-state students. So what I did was I reached out to 10 students who are in different states, from New York, or somebody who's studying in LA, or somebody who's studying in Cornell, and somebody who is studying in Dallas as well, and somebody who's studying in Midwest, and picked all of these and kind of curated this list. I have my screen right here. I'm going to read it for you. Now what this will do is this will give you some context on how much money you will be making if you get qualified for this, or if you get qualified for a TA.RA.GA position, and it will also give you some sort of motivation to perform better and to apply for more TA.RA.GA positions. Man, I have said TA.RA.GA a lot of times already. So these are the questions I asked. Does your college provide TA.RA.GA positions? If yes, how much is the stipend for it? If it varies with all three, can you share the number if you know it? Do they also provide fee waiver if you have a TA.RA.GA? And number 4th was, is the stipend enough to get by in your city? Now, after these questions, I just wanted to give you a little context. So these people, they know things about one department, and to check about different departments, it's kind of your duty to check on different departments. This is the best I could do with the resources I have had, and I would encourage you to put down the numbers of your own department, of your own university, so that more people can know. And what I'll do is I'll curate a list of those numbers and push it out there to much more students. So let's talk about first Northeastern University, which is in Boston, right next to MIT and Harvard. So as of now, what you're seeing on the screen, NU does offer a TA.RA.GA position. As a TA, you can make anywhere between $18 to $20 per hour. And this is the case when you're working for 20 hours a week max. As a RA, you can make more, $20 to $25. In NEU, you wouldn't get any fee waiver with assistantship positions. So no fees waiver at all. It's just like a regular part-time job. Stipend covers the basic living expenses, but won't cover the fees, as I did a calculation here. $18.5 into 80 hours comes down to $14.80 per month, which I think is more than enough for your rent and your food, but not enough for your fees. Boston living expenses are more, but food is the same prices all across. If you want to watch my Walmart video to understand how much food costs in the US, go watch it. When it comes to UTD, which is University of Texas in Dallas, I talked to the management student at UTD. In management school, you get TA only after the first semester, but this would be a different case, let's say in computer science or let's say in mechanical engineering. So range of the positions could be anywhere between $15 to $20. And if you take up a position, you get a Instate tuition fees. Now remember, this is for the management school, but engineering school might be different. But this number $15 to $20 is pretty common on how much a student would be making. If you can easily manage rent, utilities and grocery expenses, because Dallas in general is not as expensive. If you're living in like a 4-bedroom house and you're living one person in each bedroom, it would cost you around $500 per month. Of course, if you're sharing the room, it would cost you even less. Talking about Penn State University in Pennsylvania, TA, this is great. TA after tax deduction makes $18.30 per month, and RA after tax deductions make $19.50. That's $1,900. Talking about Penn State University, TA after tax deduction makes $1,830 per month, and RA after tax deductions make $1,950 per month. And depending on the department, you make more or less. As I mentioned before, for all universities, this is the same case. RA fees is as high up as $2,150. It could go up because again, research is much more. They say that you're only working 20 hours, but no, you're just working all the time. And tuition fee is waived, so as health insurance. So that's a great deal, and that's a great motivation for you to become a TA.RA.GA or to kind of strive to become a TA.RA.GA. And as the student mentioned, it's more than enough to live by. So for UCLA, one of the students who was Rohan, he showed me all of these numbers. So UCLA does provide a lot of funding opportunities. RA, he said that it's tough to get, but it's not unheard of to people to get. A lot of people get TA because UCLA is such a big university. You know, these public universities are huge. Their undergrad population is huge as well. They just have a lot of students which professors can't manage alone, so they hire TA. He said all of his seniors got a TA opportunity for 2 to 3 quarters, and TA makes around $20 to $25 per hour. Now, he said, don't quote me on that, but I think that number is pretty accurate. LA is an expensive city. Now, if you're even making $20 to $25 per hour, that converts to, if you're, let's say you're making that's $1,600 per month pre-tax, right? So let's say you're making $1,400. That's decent to get you by. And yes, since as you mentioned that the tuition is waived off for the quarter, so if you're a TA.RA, that'll waive off your thing, so it's good. University of Michigan, Ann Arbor, it's in Michigan, so they do not call GA, they call GSRA, that is Graduate Student Research Assistant, and it's the same in RA and the same in TA. And he also shared some links, so I'm gonna leave that link all in description as well so that you can check it out. He mentioned that there's an additional position called grader. Now, if you have watched my previous videos on working part-time, grader position is available to all the students. What a grader position entails is that you would be grading the exams or the assignments for students, and it is considered as just another part-time job. You would be making less than what a TA or a RA would be making, but you would be also working less hours depending on the course which you are grading for. So now comes the compensation part. Stipend based on your fraction of appointment, which is up to $2,400 per month. So he's saying either if it's a TA, RA or GA, they can make up to $2,400 a month. And yes, your insurance monthly stuff is paid for. That's just a benefit. So sometimes what happens, since we are international students and we can only work for 20 hours per week, that's a half TA or a half GA. One TA position or a one GA position is 40 hours per week. That's just the regular working hours. But some professors do not need you for 20 hours. So they give you 10 hours of TA.RA.GA position. Okay, so that's 25% of GSI. That's what he is mentioning here. And in that case, you would be making half of 2400. That's 1200 per month. That's still good. And I am not sure about University of Michigan and Arbor, but in some cases your fees is also halved rather than fully waived off. He also mentioned that GSI and GSRA positions are very tough to get for master's students. For PhDs, it's always funded, so you don't have to worry about it. The grade A position, he said that they are making only $12 per hour for undergrad courses and $13 per hour for grad courses. I like grade A positions more than working in a cafe, because as a grade A position, you have more chances to get a RA position or a TA position in the next semester. Coming to Arizona State University, it's literally 15 minutes from my place. So PhDs, he said that have a surety of RATA as mentioned before. MS students do get RATA if they reach out to professors with relevant research interest. In the case of RATA, you could be making $22 to $23 per hour. A full-time RA is 20 hours per hour's work, which is half-time RA. You have to understand the concept. A full-time RA is 40 hours for regular people, for American people, whereas in international case, you can only work for 20 hours per week. So that is half-time RA, but that is also like 20 hours per week. And GAs are typically $12 to $13. So if you're RATA, you're making more, whereas a GA, you're making less. So PhD students get a full waiver with an RATA for sure. Thesis students get sometimes half a waiver. And GAs, I don't think any waivers are there. So what he means by waivers here is if you get a full waiver or not. When it comes to Columbia University in New York, I asked Pawan this, and he said that there are TA.GA positions available, but you are only making $4,500 over the period of 4 months, which is also pre-tax. So post-tax, you would be making even less. Now, he said that this money is enough to cover the rent, or to cover, let's say, the living expenses, but not to cover the fees. I think it's really less for Columbia, but Columbia is also a private university. He's also a construction management student, so it could be different for other cases. But I've heard management school doesn't also give out TA.RA.GA. San Jose State University, I asked this to my roommate. He said that the fees are low, that's why they don't offer fee waivers. You have TA positions for most of the degrees, but RA is only for computer science, and they pay you $15 an hour. There's no fee waiver. By running the numbers, I think that you would be making $1,200. It's common in San Jose to live 2 people in room, so you would be sharing your room, so $1,200 is more than enough. So $1,200 is just enough for you to cover your rent and living expenses month to month. Coming to Purdue University, my university, Purdue offers GRE and yes, they give you full fee waiver. As a RA or a TA or a GA, you would be making anywhere between $15 to $18 an hour. But the full fee waiver is so big because you are saving $15,000 a semester on just tuition fees. And yes, the money you make is more than enough to get you by for a month. If you're watching this video, please share the number from your universities. If I said something wrong, please correct me, because these students are always talking about their department. It's very difficult for them to be generalized because not everybody knows everything about the other department, so you have to take that into account. But that's all. If you like this video, please like. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. And thank you so much guys for watching this one. I hope you like this one, and until then, I'll see you in the next one. Take care.